Hello everyone and welcome to another Funcast from FDV vladerag. Today we are going to be seeing FDV Dwarri or Dwarri. I don't know. It doesn't say FDV in front of his name because he is a new member, and this is indeed an introductory Funcast, and he will be facing Diam. I want to say Diam because it's whatever. Diam Stonekeep. Stonekeep, of course, being the blue Protoss in the bottom left, and Dwarri, our hero, as the red Terran in the top right. The map is Daybreak LE. There was a little bit of odd things with the loading of this. The map didn't seem quite in the right resolution, so I feel like Brokeback. Tonight's movie is Brokeback Mining Station. Wow, perfect place to freeze. But I feel like this is not the Daybreak LE that we know and love. I could be totally wrong. I am trying to find evidence for my belief. So far, no idea. Well, these minerals here look a little out of place, but I can't really tell. Anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about the game. It's on structures. That's odd since I was hitting Control-T earlier to try and put my timeline away. Wouldn't do that. We are seeing sort of the normal things coming out from both these players. I will say that I think Dwarri is slightly ahead just by, as my mouse freezes of course, as is usual. I do think Dwarri is slightly ahead because, yep, there it goes. There's his supply upticking by 1, a little faster than Stonekeep, but Stonekeep, of course, responding with an early Nexus. By the way, if you do hear a siren, for some reason I decided to cast this game outside because I have a laptop, so I can cast where I want to. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. Anyway, we are seeing sort of a backhand Forge Fast Expand. This isn't actually the first time I've seen this. Actually, never mind. I thought he went Gateway on the high ground, then Nexus, then Forge. I guess he did not. Now, I'm going to talk for a second. Dwarri is our hero, but let's talk a moment about what Stonekeep is doing. This is a Forge first fast a Nexus first Forge fast expand. Better known as just being bad versus Terran. Because almost anything Terran does, early pressure, can kill this. They don't even, I mean, right as it stands right now, he doesn't even have to attack those cannons. He can just stim in, kill the pylon, and then what are you going to do? Yeah, exactly. Either way, currently he does have a major supply lead, probably mostly in workers. Yep. Well, I can't really say major considering how early it is in the game, but there you have it. He's going to be wanting to gain that orbital command soon. That will give him mules and scans, both of which are very, very good. And Stonekeep really needs to be getting his gateway. Probably saving for that now. Never mind, he is not. Playing very greedy. Well, and that's the thing. I don't even know why he's doing a Forge Fast Expand. I mean, you can play greedy with a Terran and get a gateway and be just as safe. You could literally have done exactly this and gotten a gateway and be safe. Anyways, Dwarri looks like he's going to be going for some early pressure here, seeing a lot of barracks come down, especially before an expand, not something you often see. Do see the mule being dropped down now that the orbital is complete this game. Looks like it's basically going to be a lesson on why not to Forge Fast Expand versus Terran, as he is basically about to get punished for it. Punished big time. Marauders on the way. Not something you like to see as Protoss at any time, ever, under any circumstances. I mean, Marauders are just beast. There is absolutely nothing that Protoss has, except maybe the Archon, that really does well versus a Marauder. I mean, even Colossus versus a lot of Marauders, yeah, Marauders do pretty good. Anyway, seeing more cannons come down, it's odd for such a greedy player to be focusing so much on cannons. I guess maybe not entirely, but he is Silver League, so I sort of would expect a little less cannoning and maybe more units. I don't know, maybe my standards are a little too high. Either way, another bad thing to do versus Terran is to focus all of your important buildings in the front because they have tanks. And if they're in range to hit that, well, yeah, you're sort of in trouble if you no longer can make stalkers. That can become an issue. Either way, we are seeing that Dwarri here is not going to be punishing Stonekeep. He really could have gotten... He could have slaughtered Stonekeep, actually, who is going for shields first, which is normally a bad idea unless you are going for a Zealot Archon mix or an air mix versus Terran. You can go for +1 attack and +1 shields, and it does marginally better versus Marines if you're going for like a mass Oracle push or Oracle harassment, though it's sort of late at this point. Either way, Dwarri is playing it safe, having it, even turning it into an orbital in there, in his main base. Very, very safe play, and triple Stargate coming down from Stonekeep. Now let's talk for a second, again, another second. I like talking about things from the Protoss perspective because I'm a Protoss player, and although I understand a lot about Terran, it's mostly about how do you kill a Terran. And from that point of view, this is bad. You can go mass Oracle off like 2 base, 2 Stargate, then get like 4 gateways, 2 Stargates, and just start pumping Oracles and Zealot Stalker or Zealot Sentry. And then push with the Oracles and just massacre because the Marines can't do a whole lot versus that. And Marauders are just completely pointless because the Marines are going to be shooting the Oracles and the Zealots are going to be killing everything down there, and the Stalkers will just be providing a little extra DPS. But going for Voids is bad because Marines murder Voids. They're like the hard counter. They might actually, you know what, let's just take a look here quick. I'm not entirely sure if everybody can see this. I do see the Fraps thing continue to move in the top left there, so I do believe you can, but actually let's take a look. I'm like 90% sure that it's listed as the counter. Weak against Viking? That's not even true anymore. This is like Wings of Liberty help section because they are not weak to Vikings. They totally beat them now. I mean, I guess you could kite. That's about all you can say. But yeah, basically the hard counter to the Void Ray is the Marine. It's literally the best unit ever designed for killing Void Rays because it doesn't take any damage, it's cheap, and it does a ton of DPS. And of course it's fast, and it can be healed, and it's droppable, and it's, yeah. Okay, listen, I could go on forever on why Marine versus Void Ray is a bad idea. And here's the thing, a normal Terran in your Bronze to Gold League is going to be going for a mostly biocomposition. I'm starting to see some mech players, but it's not really as common. Also, this is a very good way to lose your Void Rays. Going out for a Void Ray harass is sort of silly. Yes, it's true that Void Rays do outrange Marines, so theoretically you could pick off a worker or 2 using this harass, and I've certainly seen pro players do this, albeit probably with 1 or 2 Void Rays, having a much more conservative opening and not getting supply blocked. But the thing is that these mineral patches aren't tight to the edge, meaning that the Void Ray will have to be within range of the Marines, who will just stim up, and stim will be done, and murder them. We're also seeing Thors, which actually are not good versus Void Rays, although they can be if Void Rays do get tightly packed enough. Anyways, you are going to be seeing a couple of worker kills here. And he is being very smart. We're trying to move this around. He can be able to pick off supply depots, buildings. This supply depot here, actually, I would find more tempting than the workers because it's a 16 supply depot, and it's wasting his energy. That's just nice. I like that a lot. I would totally pick that off instead of the workers. But he goes for the workers and gets a lot more kills than I would normally be expecting to get, which is part of the reason why I would pick that depot over the workers, because I wouldn't really expect to kill any workers. Either way, he does manage to do it. He kills 7. That's a fairly good way to go. Nice start to the game, a little bit of harassment, especially with his early lead. That does give Stonekeep a little bit of an advantage, and as I assume a lot of you know, it's a little harder to deal with Protoss once they have an advantage. Protoss really need to work almost to lose the advantage, though I will say he does appear to be doing his best to have way too many workers on his base and be supply blocked. Yeah, he's working hard on that one too. Either way, we are going to be seeing, where's that bunker coming down? Of course, there's the normal overreaction of placing missile turrets everywhere. Honestly, like a turret here and a turret here are probably enough. The bunkers in the mineral lines especially aren't a good idea because you're actually slowing down your income having to deal with that. Yeah, I don't like that. It just like I don't even like this as a base. You might as well take this one. I suppose it is a little more exposed to air. Well, no, it's actually less exposed. You could park a Void Ray here and it'll be a lot more able to pick things off or exploit this distance here. Basically, I just don't really agree with anything that Dwarri is doing. Or anything that Stone keeps doing. I don't agree with any of this. Yeah. I do like the Fleet Beacon, either going for a more upgrades. Upgrades are always good. Or better yet, going for something like a carrier. We want to see carriers. Why carriers? Because, oh god, that's loud. Anyway, folks, hello again. Let's try and resume this. Sorry about that. I actually am near a helipad, if you can believe that, for a hospital. Oh gosh, is it coming back? Oh man, that'd be terrible. I don't really want to stop my casting again. I'm not even sure if you can hear me right now. It's starting to fade now. Either way, Stonekeep, mostly through a supply box, is starting to lose this advantage. Okay, apparently he now agrees with me that was a bad place to put his command center. I can send advice into the past. It's a gift I have. Either way, we are seeing the third come down. Now, this actually is a fine place to put your third. On the condition that you're going air, because, you know, this distance here is actually less difficult to defend than this distance here, because you have an aerial force. Most of your power units can make it to defend fairly easily, and of course you can just warp in zealots until the rest of your force gets there. Basically, it's an ideal way to, it's an ideal, well, not really an ideal, but it is a potential third to take as that freezes while I'm trying to gesture with my mouse. Of course, the problem with this being that you're going air versus Terran, and Vikings don't counter Void Rays. Why is that on your production tab, Dwarri? Thors are at least okay. If the Void Rays get bunched up, you can do a lot of damage. But I would much prefer to see Medivacs. You'd be amazed at how much just a Marine Medivac can do versus a Terran or a Protoss that's going for air. You really don't need to build any other units. Especially because I don't think he's doing anything but Mass Void Ray. That is actually what we are looking at. Mass Void Ray. Possibly the worst idea since versus Terran since Mass Probe. Yeah. Well, Mass DT is also pretty bad, but that's not too much different than Mass Zealot. Frankly, I don't even know what to make of this. What do I even say? Well, what I can say is that if he would just build Marines, he'd be fine. But he's not building Marines, he's building Thor Viking, both of which are armored and take extra damage from Void Rays. So basically, he's got to be counting on the Void Rays bunching up and taking a huge amount of damage from the Thors, which is possible, but remember that Thors do extra damage versus light and versus non-light units. Is that helicopter coming back? Whatever, listen, we're just going to try to push through this. Actually, wait, that's Barrage. Hold on a second. That is Barrage. Or not Barrage, Barrage is what the Odin has in campaign. That's 250mm strike cannons. That doesn't exist anymore. Okay. Oh, okay. Now it makes sense to me. Dwarri is actually a Wings of Liberty player. He doesn't have Heartless Swarm. Or he might have Heartless Swarm and be playing Wings of Liberty. Because you can actually do that if you go to gameplay. You can set it to options. That's the only way to get the Vortex achievement these days. Actually. So this is a Wings of Liberty game. Now that's actually, once I understand that makes quite a difference actually. That means that everything I said about Viking versus Void Ray is completely and totally wrong. Throw that out the window, folks. What Dwarri is doing is actually the appropriate response. I'd still prefer Marines because, again, yeah, well, that's a lot of Void Rays. Because, again, most of the damage, also that 20% more to massive is sort of a problem with the Thors, but most of the damage that Void Rays deal is versus armored. Either way, he is going to be moving out now. The only question is about whether or not there is enough here. I'm going to say yes, because, well, yeah, just look at that. This Void Ray. Void Rays always remind me of School of Fish, but yeah, Wings of Liberty game means that Viking versus Void Ray, Viking just ruins. Unless the Void Rays are charged. Remember that charged Void Rays and Wings of Liberty are basically as OP as a Marine that shot nukes. That's about how OP they are, because they just deal a godly amount of damage. It's just insane. How much does this one do? It's not even going to say, but they do just terrible damage. And yes, that was sort of a little bit of a joke, because that is the name of a cheat. Now, he's just going to let his third fall. I don't actually see a problem with that. It's better to lose that and have positioning on his side than anything else. Positioning is very important. He doesn't take all of his units with him. Either way, oh, there's the clump. That is exactly what you don't want to do in this situation. Clumping those up and forcing them to clump is a great idea. But, oh my goodness, look at the damage. Oh, never clump. Never clump versus Thors. Oh, I think he's going to lose everything here. Oh yeah, there it goes. See, the problem, like I said, once you clump, normally Thors don't actually do that great, because it's, you know, they do basically 50% damage versus non-light units, or you could say that they do most of their damage to light units, however you want to say that. The point is that they don't do a lot of damage to things that aren't light. It's like 24 damage every, I don't even know how to figure out the weapon speed thing, but it's not that great. The point is, though, that once you clump up, you have to multiply that. So if they were hitting 5 Void Rays, all of a sudden, you basically have to say that they were doing their damage times 5. Either way, we are seeing the pushback from Dwarri. Now, the interesting thing is he doesn't actually have all that great... you know what, I'm going to take that back. Those extra Vikings coming in there do mean that he does have anti-air. The question now becomes, how on earth is Stonekeep going to respond? I don't think he can respond. That's the thing. I think he's sort of dead. There comes a point when your opponent's army is just so great that you can't... I mean, there's a point of sacrifice, I like to call, where it doesn't matter how much you have, you don't have an army, you can't produce an army fast enough to kill what he has on the map. So even if you were, say, a base ahead, which Stonekeep no longer is, you wouldn't be able to win. Even if you had the entire map and had whittled your opponent down, and he just left. But that's sort of the point. You have to realize that, yeah, no matter what, eventually you've lost. Now, anyways, folks, let this be a lesson that don't build Void Rays versus Terrans, but much more importantly, allow me to welcome Dwarri into FDV. I don't know, I'm going to figure out if he was playing Wings of Liberty or if he just has Wings of Liberty and not HOTS, which would be an interesting thing. So, whatever. Anyways, warm welcome to Dwarri. Hope to see him in some of our tournaments in the future, certainly. It's been